as an art student sketching Hong Kong's oldest temples. I thought Wong Tai Sin would be simple, but the temple's famous mirror maze held a secret nobody had documented. On my third visit, while tracing the intricate carvings, I noticed something impossible. The mirrors were reflecting scenes from different time periods. One showed 1920s worshippers in traditional dress. Another reflected the Japanese occupation, while a third mirror displayed a future ceremony with technology I didn't recognize. At first, I thought it was an art installation, but then a reflection moved independently. A woman in 1950s clothing stepped out of her mirror and into another, glancing directly at me with a knowing smile before vanishing. I dropped my sketchbook, the sound echoing unnaturally through the maze. When I looked up, all the mirrors showed normal reflections again. An elderly temple keeper helped me gather my papers, his eyes lingering on a drawing I'd made of the ghostly woman. "You see her too," he murmured. Not a question. He led me to a back room filled with antique mirrors, each covered with red cloth. The maze doesn't just reflect space, it reflects time. Some souls get trapped between moments. He uncovered one mirror, showing the woman I'd seen, now pressing her hand against the glass from the other side. Her mouth formed silent words, "Help me." The keeper explained that the woman was Mui, a bride who disappeared during her wedding ceremony in 1958. She'd stepped into a mirror to fix her makeup and never stepped out. Now she wanders the temporal reflections, forever close to her wedding day, but never reaching it. The temple's spiritual energy both traps and preserves her. That night, working on my sketches, I noticed Mui had appeared in the background of all my temple drawings, sometimes faint, sometimes clear, always watching. My apartment mirrors began showing glimpses of 1950s Hong Kong. The scent of old perfume and wedding flowers filled my room at random moments. I returned to Wong Tai Sin, determined to help Mui. The mirror maze felt different, colder, with my reflections lagging a second behind my movements. In one mirror, I saw Mui standing beside me, her wedding dress shimmering. She handed me a tarnished silver hairpin. When I turned, nothing was there, but the hairpin lay cold in my hand. The temple keeper gasped when he saw it. "This is the key that locked her in," he whispered. Her jealous sister placed it in the mirror during the wedding. To free her, you must return it to the exact moment she disappeared, through the mirrors. The keeper prepared me for a journey through the mirrors. He burned sandalwood incense and chanted protection prayers. "Time will try to trap you, too," he warned. Focus on Mui's wedding day. The red bridal chair, the dragon phoenix pattern, the smell of lotus flowers. I entered the maze at exactly 3:33 p.m. when he said the veil was thinnest. The central mirror showed not my reflection, but a 1958 wedding procession. I stepped forward, expecting to hit glass, but passed through into overwhelming sound. I saw Mui in her magnificent red bridal gown, being helped from the wedding chair. Her face was radiant but nervous. Following the procession, I spotted her sister Lan sneaking toward the mirror maze, the same silver hairpin glittering in her hand. I tried to stop her, but my hands passed through her arms. I was a ghost in this time. Lan entered the maze, and I followed. She chanted jealous words as she pressed the hairpin against a specific mirror, the one that would become Mui's prison. As the pin touched glass, time stuttered. Mui appeared beside me, her eyes pleading. "Now," she urged, "while the moment is unstable." I threw my own hairpin at the mirror just as Lan completed her spell. The two pins collided with a sound like shattering crystal. Time fractured around us. I saw multiple realities simultaneously. Mui trapped forever, Mui living her full life, Mui dying old and happy. The mirrors began sucking us into their vortex. Lan screamed as she was pulled into a different mirror, her jealous energy creating her own prison. Mui grabbed my hand, her touch suddenly solid. "The balance is restored," she breathed. But the temporal shockwave was spreading, threatening to unravel reality itself. The temple keeper's voice echoed across time. "Return, now." Mui pulled me toward our original mirror as the temporal storm intensified. Behind us, the wedding guests froze like statues, colors bleeding from their clothes. The temple walls became transparent, revealing infinite versions of Wong Tai Sin across centuries. The pins created a paradox, Mui shouted over the roaring temporal winds. We reached the gateway mirror just as it began cracking. I felt the keeper's hand grab mine from the modern side. Pulling with surprising strength, Mui hesitated at the threshold. "I must stay to stabilize the timeline," she cried. "Tell my story." Then she pushed me through, staying behind as the mirror shattered into a million temporal fragments. I collapsed in the modern temple, the keeper supporting me. The mirror maze was gone, replaced by a blank wall that shimmered with residual energy. My clothes were now a mix of modern and 1950s fabrics, and the silver hairpin had fused with my sketchbook. The keeper explained that by interfering, I'd created a new timeline where the mirror maze never existed. Mui was neither free nor trapped. She'd become a temporal anchor, holding multiple realities together. That night, my dreams showed me the consequences. Parallel Hong Kongs, where different decisions had created vastly different cities, all visible through faint, mirror-like surfaces. My art changed dramatically. I could now draw scenes from alternate timelines, a Hong Kong that never left British rule, one where the Japanese occupation never ended, another where the city became an ecological paradise. Gallery owners called my work visionary, never realizing I was documenting actual parallel worlds. The keeper became my mentor, teaching me to control my new sight. He revealed he was also a timeline refugee from a 1980s where Wong Tai Sin became a corporate headquarters. We found others like us, people who'd touched broken mirrors and gained access to the multiverse. We called ourselves the Glasswalkers. The Glasswalkers met in hidden locations across Hong Kong, an abandoned cinema that showed films from other realities, a library where books rewritten themselves daily, a restaurant that served dishes from timelines where different ingredients existed. We learned to navigate the Mirrorverse safely, helping souls trapped between worlds and preventing temporal paradoxes. But we discovered a threat: the cracked beings from broken timelines who wanted to shatter all reality into chaos. They manifested as distorted reflections that could step through any shiny surface, their forms shifting and unstable. They were drawn to places of temporal instability, and our actions with Mui had attracted their attention. The cracked first appeared in my apartment, emerging from the microwave door's reflection. Their leader, a being called the Splinter, communicated in broken mirror images that formed words. "You broke the glass. Now everything breaks." They began shattering temporal boundaries across Hong Kong. People found themselves living simultaneous lives in different eras. Buildings flickered between architectural styles, and the city's history became fluid. The keeper explained that the cracked were what happened when a timeline completely collapsed. Their reality was endless fragmentation, and they wanted company in their chaos. We had to find Mui, now the only being who understood temporal stability. Finding Mui meant recreating the mirror maze. Using my art, I painted a temporary gateway on the temple's blank wall. Each brushstroke charged with temporal energy. The glasswalkers gathered, each contributing reflections from their original timelines. As we worked, the cracked attacked, reality itself peeling away around us. Buildings became paper-thin, streets unfolded like origami, and people moved in stop motion. Just as the Splinter reached for me, my painting activated, becoming a shimmering portal. Mui stepped through, but changed. She now contained multitudes, her form showing infinite weddings simultaneously. "I've been waiting," she said with 1,000 voices. Mui had become a temporal constant, the one bride who existed in all timelines, making her powerful beyond measure. She confronted the Splinter, not with force, but with stability. Where he brought chaos, she offered structure. Where he shattered, she reflected whole. The cracked couldn't comprehend her completeness and began folding in on themselves. But the Splinter had one final weapon. He targeted the original 1958 wedding, trying to erase Mui's origin point. I had to protect that moment, while Mui handled the present crisis. The keeper gave me a temporal anchor, a prayer wheel that spun across all timelines simultaneously. I returned to 1958 using the prayer wheel, arriving at the exact moment of the wedding. The Splinter's influence was already evident. The ceremony flickered between perfect celebration and complete disaster. Lan, the jealous sister, was now a puppet for the Splinter, her envy magnified across timelines. I approached her not with anger, but with pity, born of seeing infinite versions of her story. In most timelines, she found happiness after letting go of her jealousy. I showed her these possibilities through the prayer wheel's spinning. She hesitated, and in that moment of doubt, the Splinter lost his grip on the timeline. My life became a balancing act between timelines. I'd attend university in one reality, while running a tea shop in another. Date someone in this Hong Kong, while married to them in that one. The keeper taught me to maintain temporal integrity, keeping my various selves coordinated. My art exhibitions now happened across multiple realities simultaneously. Though only other glasswalkers could appreciate the full scope, we discovered that our actions were creating new timelines. Every decision spawned alternatives, and we had to tend them like a garden. Some timelines became dark and needed pruning. Others flourished and created beauty we'd never imagined. The temple became a crossroads for time travelers, both accidental and intentional. We met refugees from collapsed futures, explorers from triumphant pasts, and beings from timelines so different they barely recognized humanity. We established rules. No changing major historical events. No interacting with your other selves. And always return the timeline to stability. History, by removing wars, disasters, and personal tragedies. They didn't understand that pain and joy were intertwined across timelines, and their fixes always created worse problems elsewhere. The editor's leader, a man from a sterile, utopian timeline, targeted Wong Tai Sin as the source of unnecessary suffering. He planned to collapse all timelines into his perfect but emotionless reality. Mui appeared to me urgently. His actions would unravel her existence and all the beauty she contained. We had to show him why imperfect timelines mattered. Using the mirror maze, we created a gallery of moments. A mother's grief creating great art, a defeat inspiring future victory, a personal loss leading to profound growth. The editor experienced them all simultaneously, overwhelming his perfect but empty emotional range. The editor broke down weeping as he experienced real human emotion for the first time. His perfect timeline had removed all pain, but also all depth. He became our strongest ally, using his knowledge of temporal engineering to strengthen fragile timelines instead of destroying them. Under his guidance, we learned to weave timelines together, creating shared experiences across realities. The temple became a university of time, where beings from across the multiverse came to study temporal mechanics. Mui became our dean, her eternal wedding, now a celebration of infinite possibilities, rather than a single moment trapped in glass. I met my other selves, formally, a gathering of hundreds of me from different timelines. We shared stories, some happy, some tragic, all valuable. One version of me had become a famous architect, another a wandering poet. Several were parents. A few were alone, but content. We established a council to coordinate our actions across realities, ensuring we didn't accidentally create paradoxes. The architect me designed improvements to the temporal gateway. The poet me documented our experiences. The parent me brought wisdom about nurturing growing things. I was no longer just an art student. I was part of something vast and beautiful. Time itself began to evolve. With so many beings consciously interacting across timelines, time developed a kind of awareness. It started communicating through patterns, the way light moved through the temple windows, the arrangement of incense smoke, the sequences of numbers in daily life. Mui explained that we'd reached a new stage of temporal existence. The mirror maze became a living entity, growing new corridors that led to timelines still being born. We encountered time infants, young realities that needed guidance to develop properly. Our role shifted from guardians to midwives, helping birth healthy new possibilities into the multiverse. The original temple keeper revealed his final secret. He was the first glasswalker from a timeline where Hong Kong never existed. In his reality, this location was empty ocean. He'd created Wong Tai Sin as an anchor point for temporal exploration. And everything that followed, Mui's story, my involvement, even the cracked, were parts of a grand design to elevate human consciousness. Now that we'd achieved multiversal awareness, his work was complete. He began fading, his essence spreading across timelines to guide other developing civilizations. His last words were, "Time is love, made visible." With the keeper gone, Mui and I became the primary guardians of Earth's timelines. We worked in perfect harmony. She provided the stability of eternal moments. I brought the creativity of infinite possibilities. We healed broken histories, nurtured emerging futures, and mediated between conflicting realities. The temple expanded spiritually, becoming visible across dimensions, while remaining ordinary to most visitors. Tourists still came to pray for luck, unaware they stood at the center of a multiversal crossroads. Their prayers now powered our work, each wish creating new potential timelines for us to tend. I found love across timelines, not with one person, but with the idea of connection itself. In different realities, I shared moments with different people, each relationship teaching me about aspects of myself. Some were brief, some lasted lifetimes. All were precious. Mui watched over my heart across dimensions, ensuring I never lost myself in any one reality. My art became a bridge between these relationships, each piece containing messages only certain versions of certain people would understand. I was learning that love, like time, wasn't about possession, but connection across infinite possibilities. A crisis emerged from an unexpected source. My original timeline began deteriorating because I'd spent too much time away. The version of me from that reality was fading, and without an anchor, that entire Hong Kong would unravel. I had to choose: spread myself thin across all timelines, or commit to one and let others go. Mui offered a third option. I could become like her, a constant across all realities, but at the cost of my individual identity. The decision terrified me. Did I want to be everyone and no one? To exist everywhere, but belong nowhere. The fate of multiple worlds hung on my choice. I chose a fourth path. Instead of abandoning my original self or becoming a constant, I would cycle through my different lives consciously. I created a temporal rhythm, spending 1 week in each major timeline before moving to the next. This required precise coordination with my other selves and created a new form of consciousness we called serial identity. The deteriorating timeline stabilized as I returned to it regularly, and my other lives flourished with the fresh perspectives I brought from different realities. Moe celebrated my solution. I had found a way to honor both my individuality and my multiversal nature. Years passed, though time meant little now. The Glasswalkers grew into a multiversal community with thousands of members across countless realities. We established temporal embassies in key moments throughout history, ensuring important decisions had guidance from multiple possible futures. I trained new Glasswalkers, teaching them to see the beauty in every timeline, no matter how dark. My original sketchbook from that first day at Wong Tai Sin became a sacred text, its pages now infinite, containing every possible drawing I could ever make across all realities. Mui and I watched over Earth's temporal development like proud parents. Today, if you visit Wong Tai Sin and look carefully at the mirrors, you might see us working. I could be the art student sketching in the corner, the temple keeper sweeping the floors, or the tourist buying incense, all simultaneously across different reflections. We're always watching for new Glasswalkers, people who notice the temporal anomalies, who see the patterns in coincidence, who feel the pull of other possibilities. When we find them, we guide them gently into the wonderful, terrifying, beautiful multiverse, because everyone deserves to see the infinite possibilities they contain. And we're always here to help with the transition, so the next time you look in a mirror and your reflection seems to move independently, or you experience déjà vu that lasts too long, or you dream of lives you've never lived, don't be afraid. You might be ready to see beyond the glass. Come to Wong Tai Sin on the full moon, bring something reflective, and whisper, "Moi sent me." We'll find you. The multiverse is vast and beautiful and needs more guardians. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to finally solve the mystery of why some timelines love chocolate while others prefer vanilla. Some questions span all realities, waiting for the right mind to answer them.